This is the Voice of the Land podcast with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Nick Paulus.
Not a whole lot we can really say beyond today sucks. It's not a good feeling. I'm sure a lot of people have their memes about some sort of darkness or being a friend to darkness. But we know that there is still one game left. Destiny still lies before this Cleveland Browns team to make the playoffs and bring energy, excitement, and hope to a football town that lives, eats, breathes, sleeps Cleveland Browns and football in general. Welcome everyone on in to this edition of the Voice of the Land show here on the Big Play Networks, also partnered with Web Streaming Studio by LPV. I'm Kevin Arnold, one of your hosts. Alongside me, as always, my brother, Nick Paulus. And we always say our producer extraordinaire behind the proverbial glass or something representing glass, because he's not really behind it, but you wouldn't know because you don't see him on camera.
You can't see him.
You can't. Is he John Cena?
You don't even know if I'm here.
Just us.
Yeah. But Peter Tellep running the ones and twos behind the scenes, and get his thoughts here in a little bit as well. Like I said, this is the Voice of the Land. We are live every Sunday after Browns games or previewing games, depending on when the games happen. It was going to be hopefully nice to be here after a 1 o'clock game like traditional Browns games again, but unfortunately, it is a dark day in Cleveland for Browns fans. We are going to vent everything. If you want to join in, comment on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're watching. We will try to get to as many as possible. We're all going to get through all of our frustrations in the next hour and move on to the biggest Steelers-Browns games that we have seen in a very long time, probably since 2002, when the Steelers beat the Browns in that wild card game, the last time the Browns made the playoffs. You can always find us on Twitter and find us live on Twitter at VTL_pod. Some other content can be found on our Instagram page at the same @ at VTL_pod. Of course, we are also live on Facebook on our page, Voice of the Land, and also Big Play. You can like both of those pages. Tune in every Sunday or throughout the week with the replay. You can find us on YouTube at Big Play Live. Other video content on our page at Voice of the Land Podcast. And, of course, you can always follow Paulus at CLE_Paulus, myself at Kevan and 7, because I always come through in the clutch when it matters most, although kind of doesn't have a great feeling tonight. And you can always find LPV Productions across all social media sites. If you have Sportscaster app, you can always find us as well. We are sponsored by DP Construction, LLC. Reach out to them. Reach out to Tyler LaFrada, a great friend of ours, for all your concrete construction needs. You can call them at 330-217-4999. That is 330-217-4999, or hit them up, like their Facebook page, DP Construction LLC. See all the beautiful pictures, all the work they've done, everything that Uncle Steve does out there, or hit up Tyler LaFrada, tylerlafrada@gmail.com. Get a quote, see what they can offer you. They're Browns fans, they're Cleveland fans. They will do right by you. They have done right by us and this show. We promise you they will do right by you and all of your concrete construction needs. And I guess we just have to shift gears. We have to get through this. The Browns lose today to the New York Jets. The 1-13 coming into today, now 2-13 New York Jets. 23-16 up in the Meadowlands after a 24-hour period that no one in Browns Nation saw coming, losing your 4 wide receivers, 2 linebackers, not having 2 of your starting offensive linemen, a lot of that due to COVID-19 protocol in the NFL, and the wide receivers being close contact to B.J. Goodson, who did test positive for COVID-19, and Baker Mayfield with 3 fumbles. Team just never able to get on the same page all day long. Paulus, I will turn the floor over to you. How you feeling? Where are you at right now?
No, I feel like dog crap. I mean, that's exactly how I feel. I want to curse. I've got everything out of my system, I think. We'll find out here in the next hour. However, I do think I got everything out of my system. I feel like absolute dog crap. I feel like someone kicked me in the nards. That's how I feel. Like a horse just galloped right over me. It hurts so bad after this loss because everything, the Raiders not winning last night, was mind blowing. Okay. But going into that, you know what? I was like, you know what? I could realistically see the Steelers, beating the Colts. What ended up happening? They beat the Colts. Okay. It was all right there for you, for the taking. Okay. The fact that we aren't technically a playoff bound team in week 16 bothers the hell out of me because we are 10-5. You should be 11-4. Okay. If it wasn't for all the COVID stuff and everything like that, but that's making excuses for a team that you shouldn't have lost to. The Jets are as talentless as any team that I've ever seen. A couple weeks ago, I said that the 0-16 Browns team probably would have beat this Jets team 9 times out of 10. Easily would have beat them 9 times out of 10. Yeah, I know they have Sam Darnold. I know he's a top 3 draft pick. He hasn't been a top 3 draft pick. He hasn't been a top 200 draft pick over the last 3 years. Let's be clear about that. He just hasn't been. Okay. It bothers the hell out of me that Sam Darnold beat you today. This Browns defense just didn't show up. And I understand you were missing some key, components, albeit the linebacker core that we have much maligned so far this year. This linebacking core is dog doo-doo as well. But you still had Denzel, you still had Miles, you had Olivier Vernon, you had everyone else going for you, but you didn't have a couple of linebackers. I get that. They're rotational players, though. You should have beat this team. The fact that you didn't bothers the hell out of me. Now, it's not just the defense. This was a team effort of losing, okay? Baker, you can't fumble the ball 3 times, okay? That's just, one, number one right there. Offensive line, I understand you're down a couple of starters. Kendall Lamb, oh my God. If we needed anyone today, it was Jedrick Wills. Losing Jedrick Wills today was probably the cherry on top of the crap sundae. Okay. Not having Jed Wills out there really hurt us because Kendall Lamb, you just didn't show up. Just plain and clear. You didn't show up to play. Nick Harris, you had a great week last week. People were calling. Jarvis gave you shout-outs, multiple shout-outs in the presser last week, and then this week you fall flat on your face. That's inexcusable, okay? It's not like Quinnen Williams was out there, their all-star player. It's not like he was out there. He's done for the year. The fact you lost to this Jets team bothers the hell out of me. But the one person that I will put this blame on more on than anyone else is Kevin Stefanski. You didn't stick with the running. What's the one thing that got us to this point, to 10-4 going into this game? Running the ball. Now, they had a lot of guys in the box, okay? But they've had a lot of guys in the box all freaking year, okay? This Jets team is not good. This Jets defense is like a bottom 5 defense in the league. It bothers me that you didn't win this game. You can throw out, we were down 7 or 8 starters and the fact that the NFL didn't move the game, even though they'll move heaven and earth for the Ravens and the Steelers, whenever that happens. Now, mind you, the Steelers, they got screwed out of their bye week early in the year. So I'm not even going to, say anything bad about the Steelers for that. But the Ravens, they moved the Ravens game multiple times, 3 different times.
And remember, Des Bryant tested positive when they're warming up for the game. He's hugging teammates that now become close contact.
How is that not close contact?
And the game happens.
And the game still happens. Dwayne Haskins went to a strip club without a mask on and was ridiculed by everybody. And he started the freaking game. Ended up losing the game, but they started the game. The fact that we couldn't have extended this out a couple of days for the Browns, you were down your entire wide receiver core. Inexcusable. Inexcusable by Roger Goodell and the NFL. But that all being said, you should have won this game still. And I blame a lot of this loss on Kevin Stefanski in his play calling. I still think he's a top 2 or 3 coach of the year coach. I still think he is. But this loss was inexcusable. It absolutely was. I'm sorry. Like I really thought that they should have blown this game out. And this loss hurts you because now it's all or nothing against the Steelers next week, which is, once again, this title here for us is, what is it? Last call for the bandwagon. I'm on, obviously. I am boots on that bandwagon because I do think that you will beat the Steelers at home. But I'm telling you, I didn't want to get to this point. Week 17, win or go home. I wasn't expecting that. I thought we wrapped this up 2 weeks ago. And the fact that we haven't, because a lot of things have, everyone just keeps winning. Like the AFC this year is unbelievable. You have your destiny in your hands. And Myles Garrett said it perfectly. He'd not rather have anyone else have it in their hands other than their own. We don't have to worry about anyone else winning or losing. Just focus on next week against Pittsburgh. That's all you have to do.
I want to touch on all of that here in just a moment, and especially the premise of the title of our show tonight. But I do want to throw it to Peter and kind of get your thoughts and give you, because you see where Paulus is at and how frustrated, how angry he is. I was punching the couch and stuff. Furious during the game, kind of going through a range of emotions. I know other people want to look at the bright side of things, and that I'm not telling anybody how to feel after this game heading into week 17, which is basically your first playoff game for the Browns next week to try to actually get into the dance. Not here to tell anybody how to feel. However you feel is fine. I want to know, Peter, where are you at? What end of the spectrum are you on right now?
I'm disappointed. I really expected them to go in and win. Losing the wide receiver core, the fact that the NFL didn't do anything to move this game, to me is ridiculous given what we're going through with COVID. What really what really bums me out too is that if you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, maybe even more than a month ago, I said, hey, if the Browns can win out and the Steelers drop a certain number of games,
right,
we'd be facing them tied. If we would have won, and if we would have won tonight or today, and if the Colts would have held out,
right,
we would be facing Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh for the AFC title. And here's the thing: is what you said about Stefanski. I think Coach of the Year. He's definitely in the top picks there. Do any of you guys think we really, looking back, would you think that we'd be sitting here talking about 10-5? And the fact that this last game against the Steelers is an important game for us, that we're actually playing the last game of this season is a meaningful game.
Well, I just wanted to cut in real quick.
Yeah.
You and I did talk about this. Mm-hmm. We always thought that week 17 was going to be a play-in game for us. Mm-hmm. We've been saying that since I think like week 8, that it was all going to come down to the last couple of games, the 3 games that we absolutely needed to show up for. We've shown up for honestly all 2, for both of them so far. And that was the Titans and the Ravens. The Steelers game, you and I both said that they had to go at least 2-1 in those 3 games. And lo and behold, what's it coming down to?
It's coming down to week 17. Usually week 17, game against the Steelers, whether it's at First Energy Stadium or at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, is usually doom and gloom for the coaching staff, for the regime. It's usually that point of the season, that type of season that we just went through. This time, you have a chance to beat your rival, start back on the track of really making Browns Steelers what we see it as, not how it's been, and how Big Ben has just obliterated the Browns over his career. You have a chance to change that narrative on Sunday in 1 week everything this team is feeling, the way that Baker walked out of his press conference after saying, it's on me. Denzel Ward saying, you can blame this one on me. Coach Stefanski saying, we got outplayed, I got outcoached. Not just we got outcoached. Him taking the emphasis from the whole coaching staff and putting all of that blame on him. Everyone that was sitting at home and tweeting because they couldn't be at the game. Jarvis, Hollywood, Kadero Hodge.
Which, by the way, how weird was that?
It was weird.
It was weird seeing
was
like
weird
Jarvis and all
to
those
live
guys.
tweet with us like
Like,
the
that's
Browns
a fumble.
game.
I was like, I know Jarvis, right?
Yeah, like, it's like, wait, are you on the sideline? Like,
Right, yeah.
You got your phone out?
Get that phone out. Get that phone. We've seen that before.
Yeah, like texting on the sideline.
Right.
what are you
Get
doing?
out of here, Ray Farmer. Right, yeah.
But we've been through all those years.
Yeah.
And you have a chance, as much as people wanted to, root for whether it was the Colts to beat the Steelers because you just assumed the Browns were going to beat the Jets today, or the Steelers to beat the Colts because we assumed we were going to beat the Jets today, to have a chance to go to the playoffs after today. We knew everything that was on the line, what could have been obtained today, and it wasn't. It's apropos that it's going to come down to the Browns and Steelers game, because if you really want to establish a winning culture here in Cleveland,
Yeah.
Sunday is where that happens. And as much as it's been a weird year, it's been a difficult year for so many people, and we don't take any of that lightly. What so many people have gone through. And even families that have lost loved ones, whether to COVID-19 or any other reason. There was a shocking, unfortunately, passing of one of the World Wrestling or professional wrestling figures yesterday, lately known as Brody Lee in AEW, John Huber, who passed away from a non-COVID related lung disease. Phil Necro, a Hall of Fame pitcher, passed away today. Like, there are things in life that do matter more. And what has happened this year, never wish on anybody or for that to ever happen again. But with all of that and everything that this new regime and this new coaching staff, new program has gone through to get to this point, it is apropos that you get a chance to really show what you're made of, show your mettle, and bring relevancy back to Cleveland football on Sunday. Because guess what? I'm hurting right now. I am hurting right now.
Yeah.
And you said, Paulus, with our title, that you're on the bandwagon. I'm going to say something that's going to not make sense at first, but it will.
Can't wait.
I am not on the Browns bandwagon. I am in their official fan base, where I'm never going to be on any wagon, anything like that. No matter what happens, I'm going to be with this team. I am on the beat the Steelers, make it to the playoffs bandwagon with everyone else.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. I am not a band. When you say the word bandwagon, we all know what that means. People that just jump on because it's cool, or they jump off when it's not.
I was just like for the bandwagon talk itself. I was just being like,
oh no, like this is what we mean by this. What I'm saying is I'm explaining to everybody what we mean by bandwagon. We want to make sure that people understand. Us three are not people that just jump on and jump off the wagon of Cleveland sports here. The bandwagon is Cleveland, rise up, get through give yourself the 24 hours to feel the hurt, the frustration, the anger, everything, whether it's at the NFL, at Baker, at Coach Stefanski for not running the ball enough, at this team for still not beating a Jets team. No excuses. You still are more talented than the New York Jets, who are 1-13, cost themselves the number 1 pick last week, had nothing really to play for. You still allowed them confidence. You allowed them energy. Should never have happened today. There are no excuses for that. It is not acceptable. But with all of that, once we get through and vent all of this out, Browns fans, you know who's in front of you. We hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are standing in your way of 18 years of not making the playoffs. You win, you're in. No rooting for any other team to help you out with any other scenario. It's about us. It's about this team. It's about this city. While only 12,000 fans can be in those stands, this team and this city will feel our energy, will feel our belief in this team, and the nation will feel the passion of Browns fans that make us the best in all of professional sports.
I think we need to talk about it. Obviously we need to preview the Steelers game and we need to do all of that. I just want to wrap up here with this game. Once again, you absolutely should have won. Obviously I've said that multiple times now there for us in many different ways. That being said, it looked like for the first half that the Jets had something to play for. That they were in fact the playoff bound or the team that was going for the playoffs. That bothered me. That I really thought going into this game, knowing that we have a bunch of guys that were inactive and it was a almost unfair sort of situation, and that the Browns may have put themselves in, or just not having the guys out there. I really thought that would rally us around everyone, and it didn't happen. And that bothered me a little bit. The second half, you saw them come together, and I was happy about that. The defense played out of its mind that second half. I really think that the defense did a very good job. You were seeing people step up that honestly are backups on every other team. Anderson, Sendeo, had a great tackle to stop him on third down, and everyone got fired up. I thought that was going to be the turning point in the game, and it almost was. Once again, it's unfortunate that we're at this situation that we're in right now, but once again, we still do control our destiny. And that's the best thing that we can say, because this isn't like 2007 where we had to bank on, I believe it was a 14-1 Colts team that just rested all their starters. And once again, the resting of the starters, this is where I want to bring this up at. I understand that a lot of people are saying, the Steelers are going to rest their starters. They should rest their starters because they're not going to get a bye week. I understand where you're coming from with that, but the Steelers offense has been god awful as of lately. Okay. I understand that you want Big Ben to, get some rest and recover and all of that fun stuff. But I don't think that they're good enough to come off of a bye week and be rested and fine. They're going to look rusty. Like, that's where I think Mike Tomlin knows that as well. I think he needs to go in there and at least put forth at least the first half with Ben out there, with Ben in the regular offense out there. So this isn't going to be a cakewalk. I don't want anyone to think that this is 2017 whenever the 0-15 Browns team went to go play a already playoff bound Steelers team and they threw out their B squad. That's not going to happen. And by the way, you lost that game. You lost that game to go 0-16. This is something that we need to rally behind. I know we're going to get a lot of these guys back, most likely. Hopefully we get Jarvis back. Like, Jarvis is the main one. Jarvis, and then Jedrick. Hopefully he's okay, because once again, you saw that offensive line and that was bad. You might be able to live with like Nick Harris being at guard and having Jed on out there like you did last week. But if you don't have Jed or Teller out there, I think you're screwed, especially against that defensive front for Pittsburgh. So you got to have one of those two guys back out there. Hopefully they're both back. If they're both back, I think the Browns win this going away, because the Browns are the better team. The Browns have been playing better than the Steelers up until this point. Over the last 8 games or so, they just flat out have been playing better. But you need to prove it, and you need to rally around something, because I called it a couple of weeks ago. You need to get to the playoffs in order to change the mentality of everything. I really think they are on the cusp of changing everything. If this team gets into the playoffs, they can be dangerous, but you have to get there first, guys. Like, Just go out there and put forth a professional effort like you didn't do in the first half today. If you did that in the first half today, I think we're playoff bound already. But once again, we control our own destiny. We got to kick ass in Cleveland next week against Pittsburgh.
And Peter, I know that you said before the season, if you would have told us we were 10-5 with a chance to make the playoffs playing against the Steelers, we would all take it. And there was going to be takes similar to that. It's not wrong, and it's right. Like, I didn't think the Browns were going to be in this position, but based on how the last few weeks have gone, and I will admit that I'm I guess susceptible to this, or take ownership that I have done this too, putting the cart before the horse, kind of being in the playoffs before we actually made the playoffs, like having that feeling, because the Browns haven't been there in 18 years.
Right.
But I think being able to do that, going to that extent, making that mistake, shows a lot about what this team has shown us this year. If you look at the entire body of work of this team and what the coaching staff has been able to do and establish already. But you're not there yet. We've had shows where we had titles like same old Browns, asking that question. And we've also had titles where it's, Super Bowl. We've gone through the whole spectrum with this team. Guess what? It really comes down to one game. Coach Stefanski has been preaching that all year long. 1-0. 1-0 each week. If you win, if you're 1-0, excited, you move past it, you go watch the film, then coaching staff starts to put that game plan together for the next group. Guys come in on Wednesday, and you get after it. You put your work in. We've also had, you also have, if you go 0-1, well, get in there. You better get in there early, watch the film, maybe watch film on Sunday night, figure out what went wrong, put the game plan together, come in on Wednesday, hit the ground running. That's what this team is going to have to do. I can pound the table right now, and I can be frustrated about, that was a fumble. Oh, the officiating is this. The NFL should have delayed this game. It's unfair that the Browns had to play when the Ravens had to do. Like, all of that is true, and after the game, that's what was going through my head.
Sure. As it was with everyone.
Right, as it was with everyone.
Let's put that out there.
And then I took a little bit of time before I came to the studio, laid in the bedroom on just on the bed, staring at the ceiling.
Ooh, tell us all about it. Not that. It's not MTV Cribs where it's not that kind of. It's nowhere near that kind of story. Boy, throw me off here. Threw you off right there. Yeah, nice.
A little bit, but bring a little levity to it, so I like it.
There we go.
I like it. But just basically in the dark room, just staring at the ceiling, just reflecting and trying to, what we always do, look at this through a realistic lens. And realistically, the Browns should have still won this game. There are no excuses. No one made excuses after the game. Now, not here to, throw bouquets of flowers at them and people like Baker because he's pissed off at himself. It comes down to, you said it, now go do it. We go back to everything we said leading up to this season. Comes down to 1 week. You got to beat the big boys. You got to beat the teams in your division. You have lost twice to the Ravens. While it was a great game, you lost twice to the Ravens. They have a tiebreaker over you. You got obliterated by the Steelers in Pittsburgh the first time. If you want to really establish yourself and you're really upset and you feel like you are a playoff team, you have the opportunity in front of you. This city, these fans, your team will be behind all of you supporting that process, that journey to Sunday to get to the dance. It's about putting in the work, going and getting the job done.
Is there any redeeming qualities about this game that you can think of that you're like, that you can put a finger on and go, you know what, they learned from this or they learned from that, or something that you liked from this game? Is there anything that you might be able to like from this game? Because I got one thing, but
anything I might be able to like from this game,
Yeah. I know we lost, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Yeah, but
it's very hard to like anything from this game. It's the look in the eye because after the game when they are saying those things,
Sure.
because at least they have what we asked them to do before the season. When they say things, they actually go out and they don't do it one game, they make those adjustments, and they've been very good coming off of losses and losses where they should have played better and won. Stefanski and this coaching staff and these players have bought into the philosophy being preached and have gone out there between the white lines and actually produced and have been successful. So I like the look in the eye because I've seen it before and I've seen what it can lead to. But it has to lead to that.
Peter, is there anything?
Honestly, with this one, no, I can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
That's fair.
Other than the fact that I think, that we're probably going to look for a new kicker.
Oh, yeah. No,
All right.
Cody-
All right, now you're going to get Paulus going.
No. I've ripped on Cody enough. Like,
Yeah.
we all know Cody. There's going to be a kicking competition here in the offseason. It's too late in the year to bring in a new kicker.
Right.
It's too late for all of that. You have 1 week to prove yourself. And
It's ride or die with the group.
it's ride or die with the guys that you have.
Mm-hmm.
The only redeeming quality that I look, after all this is after the loss. I think it's the same thing as what you were talking about. They were pissed off for greatness. They looked at this and they said, we should have won this game. We're better than the Jets. They got us today, but that'll never happen again. That's the sort of look in the eyes of Baker, Miles, Denzel, Stefanski, all of them.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
We're on the same page for that. I truly do believe that they were all pissed. And everyone loses and you're pissed no matter what. Okay. But there are times whenever you look in a person's eye and you go, that won't happen again. And that's the time. I'm not saying how many opportunities do you get to go up against a 1-13 team? Not many.
Right.
Okay. Let's put that out there. But I don't think that this team, this group that we have together right now, I don't think that you're going to see, and this is in future games as well. We have one game and then the playoffs if you win that game. So I'm not talking about this year, but I'm talking for future reference. This is a culture building moment that I looked at all of those guys' eyes, and it wasn't Baker pouting, it wasn't Miles pointing the blame at someone else or saying, hey, it wasn't my fault. We've seen those guys do that before. This was different. This was different. To me personally, I look at all of these guys out there and they just had that look. They realistically had that look of saying, it ain't happening again.
And because I have a feeling that there may be a narrative trying to be spun with this. You're saying you don't take issue with Baker talking for 2 minutes and walking out.
None
Correct.
whatsoever.
And I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
None whatsoever. At first, mind you, I'm cutting up the live Zoom. So as it's coming in, I'm cutting up everything. And Baker's talking. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to jump in. Let me answer all of your questions right now. Boom. 2 minutes. He was done. And then he walked off. And at first, I'm not going to lie to you. I go,
Bad look.
bad look.
Right.
But then I went back and looked at all of his quotes. He didn't need to be, asked the questions because he knew what the what the questions were going to be.
Answered every single question.
And it's something that Baker knows exactly what needed to be done, and it didn't happen. He said he failed the Browns today. And he can feel like that. It wasn't just Baker. I'm throwing that out there. A lot of people are going to, a lot of the Baker haters are going to be coming back out. Okay. They've been shut up for the last 8 weeks, but they're going to start coming back out now. And especially, going up against Pittsburgh. Oh, the last time you played him, he got benched for Case Keenum, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that that's going to happen. I'm throwing that out there for that. But Baker going off in 2 minutes doesn't bother me one bit, because if you listen to the words he said, everything that he said is what my leader is. If you're a leader of the clubhouse, that's what you need to say. And he said everything perfectly. He said it was on me. This loss is on me. This it was all on me, basically. I have to hold on to the damn ball, which is you're going to see that comment everywhere for the next couple of days. He's absolutely he's not wrong, and B, this is a team game. You know, it's not all about Baker. But I loved what I saw from Baker press conference. I understand some people are going to view it as
Right.
maybe a maturity issue, but I don't give a damn what the national media thinks. I don't care what the local media thinks. Sorry, love you guys. I'm a part of it. But you know what? I don't give a damn what you say, and Baker doesn't give a damn what you say either. And that's all that matters. As long as these guys can focus in for the next week, like I realistically think that we have a great chance of beating the Pittsburgh Steelers and getting to the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. But it's not going to be a cakewalk. You are going to have to bust your ass in order for this win to happen.
I mean, I hate to steal a line from LeBron and take this cliche and everybody's kind of
Sure.
Hollywood, put it like kind of Hollywoodified it, or however you want to say it. It really is nothing given, everything earned in this city. And this team is going to have to earn it themselves. They have to go earn it themselves. That's the bottom line. You win, you're in. You lose, see you next year.
Yeah.
You know?
And how, you know what? Not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what? Not going to.
Yeah.
I almost dropped the F one. I almost dropped that one. Not going to happen though. So
Yeah, we don't have a dump button here.
we don't have a dump button.
I can't really help you
We
there.
don't follow FCC guidelines, but we do, but we don't have to. I'm sticking with them though.
So before we really give kind of an outlook, I guess
Sure.
you would say, for next week, I just want to finish this whole conversation up from today with this. Everyone out there, if you are in Browns Twitter, Browns media, national media, it is okay to criticize the head coach. It is okay to criticize the quarterback and anyone else on this team that did not produce. They criticize themselves. It is okay to look at the bright side of things and what is in front of this team. It is also okay to look at it as if they didn't have these guys, certain guys out there on the field. We've seen what they can do with those guys without them on the field. Who could win a game like that? All of these perspectives are right, are your right to have that opinion. Not here to tell anybody what to think. Because, again, today sucks. But we don't need the infighting of Browns fans, the back and forth, I'm going to take this side and it's only right. My side's only right. Your side's wrong. Those types of things. We said jump on last call for the bandwagon. The bandwagon is our destiny. Our destiny is to face off against the Pittsburgh Steelers Sunday, whether it gets flexed or not, whatever time it's going to be. I'll just say 1 o'clock for now, as it's scheduled, to make it into the playoffs and end an 18-year drought and have a chance at the dance. That is all that we need to do. After getting anything that you feel out about this game, whether you've commented, I've seen a couple comments tonight, you're tweeting, you're posting on Facebook, you're doing videos, trying to either uplift the team or venting frustration, however you're going about it. As this week goes on, come together, get on the Destiny bandwagon, feed that energy to the guys in Berea. They're going to take care of what they need to in-house, or they won't. But we are going to give all we got. They better give all they got. And let's beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like I said, get a chance at the dance in the NFL playoffs. So to switch gears to Sunday, your outlook, what do the Browns really need to do, Paulus, to win that game? Because I don't know if we're on the same page or not. I don't care whether they rest their stars or not. I kind of want to see Browns best versus Steelers best, who's ever available.
Yeah.
Browns best, Steelers best. Let's beat them, prove ourselves, and get into the dance. How do you see this game? What do the Browns need to do to get that win?
I'm
Keep that
100%
chance?
with you. I want to see our best versus their best because that's it's a playoff game. It's a playoff play-in game here for us, and I don't. Can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get in.
Yeah.
I just want to get in. If it's against their starters versus our starters, I'm cool with that. If they want to throw their B squad out there, that way we can kick their ass in the playoffs, I'm cool with that too. Okay. My point though, I just want to get in. Like a God's honest truth, I just want to get in. If it's against their starters though, the thing that you have to do, and this is it's and it always is going to be about Baker Mayfield. It always will be about Baker Mayfield. Is he the franchise quarterback? Can he win us a Super Bowl? Can he get us to the playoffs? Can he win us a playoff game? Can he win us this game, this big game, this big game? Can he beat the big brother? You can answer all of that. You can answer all of that if you beat the Steelers right now. And like, that's what you need. We can't have turnover Baker like we had today. Okay. And he owned up to it. I mean, he whenever you only throw for 50%, 53% or whatever his completion percentage was today, it's not good enough, period. You know, I said going into this game, you had to throw at least 70%. I didn't think he was going to throw 53 times. Okay. That's ridiculous. But against the Steelers, that might need to happen. You need to be able to run the ball against them as well. But Baker is the X factor of all X factors. Everyone agrees with it as well, by the way. If Baker balls out like he did against Tennessee and the Ravens and all the, Jacksonville, all of those games, if he balls out like the way he did against those teams, this is a Super Bowl caliber offense for sure. But Baker is the X factor. Baker needs to go into Pittsburgh and forget all about what happened the last time. Or I'm sorry, not into Pittsburgh, but into Cleveland against Pittsburgh. Him getting benched for Case Keenum that past time, like, he needs to forget all about that because this is the game of all games. Think about us against the Ravens a couple years ago and Baker throwing the interception to end that game. He had to sit all offseason stewing about that because there was still a slight chance of getting into the playoffs at that point in time. If memory serves right, they had to have like 100 things break for them that way. But that is an issue that Baker had to think about all offseason, was that out route and it getting picked off. Baker can't turn the ball over against the Steelers team. If you turn the ball over, we're not going to go. Like, just plain and simple, you have to win the turnover battle. And going into this game, I know we were -2 today, but going into this game, you were +6 on the year on the turnovers, which was tied for 5th best in the NFL. You have to be able, the only way that you're going to be able to beat the Steelers team is by your defense gaining opportunities, cashing in on those opportunities. And Ben has been throwing a lot of interceptions lately. Okay. He's been turning the ball over a lot lately. The defense needs to capitalize, but Baker, more importantly, needs to capitalize on his opportunities because there are going to be plenty of opportunities against that banged up Steelers defense. Baker is the dude that has to ball out.
Baker does have to ball out. Peter, key to victory for a chance to get in. Do you want to just get in? Do you want to beat Steelers best? Where are you?
It's kind of tough for me because I agree with Nick. I want to get in. I just want to get in. If it's against their B squad, fine.
Right.
If it's against their starters, even better. If we can go and face them and take on their starting squad and beat them soundly and get into the playoffs, that's just going to be even sweeter. One thing I thought about too, today's game, going back a little bit, was what was our 3rd down completion? It was horrible.
You know what? Let me see if I can pull that up.
Because most of the, and I was thinking about this, is how many times it's, at least to me, it seems like when we need that critical 3rd down, that ball's going to Landry.
Yeah,
I mean, Landry is a huge 3rd down playmaker for us, and I think that really hurt us. So
3rd down efficiency, 6 of 15.
6 of 15.
Yeah.
So
now the Jets weren't much better. They were 7 of 18.
Well,
so
6 of 15 is actually better than I was thinking.
Right.
It was,
Yeah.
so.
You went 6 of 15 and then 0 for 1 on 4th down, which was obviously the Baker fumble.
Right. So I mean, just for them to win next week, it's Baker's got to come out, do his job, not turn over the ball. I mean, I think we've been fortunate. This was awful today. 3 fumbles is awful.
Yep.
And he knows that. And, I don't think anyone expected it. So, I think we have a good chance going in there. But, yeah, I just want to get into the playoffs. And like I said, if it's against their starters, that just makes it sweeter.
I know that Coach Kev can get a little frustrating sometimes, especially for you, brother. But
Coach Kev, it's only at certain points
Yeah,
in
I
time.
know.
Yeah,
I know.
After a big win, honestly, after a loss like this, I'm all for Coach Kev. It's the wins that bother me. It's because I'm like, be happy. But
Right.
after a loss like this, absolutely go Coach Kev.
right. I'm not going Coach Kev tonight. Everything I have said, it's not a bit. It's not.
No, yeah.
It's not.
It's who you are.
It's not a character. And even when I go in Coach Kev mode, it's still not a bit, but we kind of have fun with it as
course.
if, in the business, a little behind the scenes, making it a bit and things.
Right.
But everything tonight that we have all said is the passion that we have for the city, these teams, the sports here in the city of Cleveland, and especially for football and the Cleveland Browns. In order to win next week, if it is against I would love to beat their best, is what I'm saying. I would love to beat their best.
Mm-hmm.
If they put in their B squad and we beat them and we get in, I'm not coming on here like Coach Kev, like, oh, well, you're really going to have to step your game up because you only beat Steelers B squad and now you're in the playoffs. You're facing good teams every single week. Like, that is kind of the angle that I think I would go with in the past. I want to get in. I just want in.
Yeah.
These players, these coaches, this organization better want to get in. And you're going to have to find a way this week. You're going to have to find a plan, put a plan together that can get you there. That takes all 53 on the roster, every single coach, every person in the organization to win this game on Sunday and get there. And yes, you are right, Paulus. Of course, it comes down to Baker Mayfield. Be the Baker Mayfield we have seen over the last month plus, one of the best statistical quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Cannot turn the ball over, put guys in position to succeed, even if it's a short 3 to 5 yard pass. If you got your playmakers back, allow them to go make the plays for you that they've made all year. Trust in them.
Yeah.
Get that rhythm. Then open it up as the game goes along. Stefanski trusts in the run game. Get Chubb and Hunt going. Wear down that Steelers defense and our defense. Make those plays you made in the second half today. Make those against whoever is on the other side. Get to the quarterback. Be the team that forces the turnovers, forces the mistakes. Don't be the team that puts yourself in position to consistently make mistakes all Sunday long.
Before we wrap this up, because I'd like to talk Ohio State Fiesta. I'm sorry.
I need something to like 10 minutes at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get this taste on my mouth.
We'll close up with Ohio State and Clemson there for us real quick. But I did just want to mention this. Tony Grossi just posted this 3 minutes ago. Pittsburgh right now is a 7.5 point favorite going into this game. That is where we are at right now. If I'm a betting guy, and I'm not, just throw that out there. I'm banging the Browns on that one.
Don't you get at least 2.5 or 3 points for being the home team?
Yeah.
And they're 7.5.
They're saying that the Browns are essentially a 10-point dog.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. And I hope Kevin Stefanski sees that, and he probably won't. But I guarantee you his players will tell him about it. And I'm sure someone will tell him about it. But that's a slap in the face. Straight up honest with you. That's a slap in the face for the organization, for the players, for everything. And honestly, should happen. That's a slap in the face, as it should happen. You just lost to 1-13, now 2-13 team. You know what? You are a 10-point dog. Prove it otherwise.
That betting line says everyone else sees you as the same old Browns.
Yes.
we have seen capabilities of being something different, being something special, not just this year, but we're focused only on this year. Being something special this year. We have seen evidence of that. Go be that team. Don't be the same old Browns. And Browns fans, Browns Nation everywhere. Rise up, get on that Destiny bandwagon, and let's go beat those Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm almost dropping words.
That's right. That's right. There we go.
Gotta remember there's no dump button.
That's right. That's right.
But to kind of switch gears, because today has gotten rid of the whole Christmas cookie taste out of my mouth, and I really hate that because I had so much good food over the last few days, and to have that just wiped away in one day sucked. But we're getting through it, getting past it. Do want to talk Ohio State, Clemson, national semifinal in the college football playoffs. Buckeyes do get in. They do get that 4th spot, being 6-0, being Big Ten champions, Big Ten championship. Yep. But if you look at it, Dabo Swinney had come out that he had put the Buckeyes 11th in the coaches poll, or where he voted them. And Clemson has beat up on Ohio State. They beat them in these bowl games, these nationally televised major games at the end of the year, at this time of the year. Paulus, what chance do you give the Buckeyes to beat Clemson and move on to the national championship?
What chances?
What chances?
I honestly think it's 50-50.
And thoughts on keys to victory.
And
for the Buckeyes.
I know that's as on the fence as you can possibly get on that.
Yeah.
But the way that I look at this, if the Buckeyes play their best game, they will beat Clemson. I firmly believe that. I think that we have the same amount of talent as what Clemson has. Trevor Lawrence is a real dude. He is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. We're looking at the top probably 2 or 3 picks in this draft with Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence out there. I think we should have beat Clemson last year, and Clemson last year was a better team than they are this year. But we don't have the same sort of rock stars on defense as what we had last year. Chase Young, I know he didn't do anything in that game, but just having him out there as a presence is scary for opposing offenses out there. The fact that you don't have someone like that, a little worrisome. However, I think Shaun Wade is a better overall player than what he was last year there for us. And him knocking out, Lawrence still highlights in my head. I love everything about that. Thankfully, obviously, Trevor didn't get hurt and whatever, but that still replays in my head. I know if Shaun Wade doesn't get ejected and Chris Olave doesn't stop on a route, that they would have been competing for a national championship against Bama. That just would have happened. It's unfortunate, but that was last year. This is this year. Clemson is a very good team. They are a damn good team. And if you don't treat this game like this is if you lose, it's not a win or go home game. It's if you lose, you will never play this game again sort of game. This is win or die. I say that, but I don't think these kids are going to be thrown to a pit or anything like that. But I do think that this game means so much, especially for Ryan Day. Ryan Day has been through hell this year, not only with him going through COVID himself, but losing 30 different players due to COVID. Thankfully, I haven't heard anything about losing any COVID people so far. This week starting up there for us. We should be getting Chris Olave back. The Big Ten obviously changed their rule. Go figure. But the Big Ten ended up changing their rule. So now Chris Olave and all of those guys will be back, which is great news there for us. That gives us an edge there for us to really come back. Without Chris Olave on the field, his presence out there, Justin Fields didn't look the same. That was pretty worrisome against Northwestern, who is a good defense. And they were ranked, number 14 or whatever they were going into that game. I don't know if they're still there or not, but they played a damn good game. Ohio State had to make a comeback in order for that game to be what it was. but I think Ohio State can and will beat Clemson finally. Like it's been forever since I honestly, I don't know if we've ever beat Clemson, like all-time record wise.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have or not. I know going back to the days of, whenever Woody punched the kid in the face, like I know they lost that game. I know obviously Urban lost to him. Ryan Day lost to him last year. Like it's been a long time. So I think that this is finally the moment that we get. I'm hoping Clemson's not on their A game. Because once again, this Ohio State defense, it's not as good as what it once was last year. And that worries me just a little bit.
I'm just going back. It looks like the records I'm seeing here, they played in 1978.
Okay. Was that? I think that was Woody's last year. That's whenever he punched the kid. I think it was the Citrus Bowl or something.
Yeah. Total meetings. Yeah, they haven't beaten them.
Yeah. See,
4 losses in 4 meetings.
I knew
over
it.
their
So
history.
you're looking at.
The setup on these stats were weird. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, so Woody lost to him.
It's 2013, 2016, and 2019.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, Woody, Urban lost to him twice, and then Ryan Day. So that's what it is.
You're 0-4 against them. Peter, you're due. How does Ohio State prove that they're due, change that history, and does that Northwestern Big Ten championship performance worry you at all?
Well, yeah, the performance worried me, but we're missing, key players. They had to make adjustments. They made adjustments. Clemson is a tough team. I don't know. I know Trevor Lawrence is probably happy that he's probably not going to end up in New York right now.
God,
so
he is the happiest person in America, and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
And thankfully for Justin Fields, because apparently a lot of talk is that Justin Fields will not go to the Jets. Like they'd rather keep Sam Darnold and build around him, which honestly, the right call.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right call. Maybe you can get that, Oregon tackle, build the offensive line around him, give Darnold what he's never had, a coach and an offensive line.
Right. No, I think Ohio State has a good chance to go with, to beat Clemson. And, when you have with what happened last year and then Dabo Swinney, basically just showing he has no respect for him. That's a lot of, locker room, for sure, stuff right there just to get these guys fired up. And I think they're going to be fired up because none of them liked what happened last year.
Right.
And this year's been weird. So, we'll see. I think they have a good chance to go in there. I'm going to be rooting for them, and I'll be happy to see them win.
So. Oh, I thought you were going to root for Clemson.
Oh, boy. We know Peter bleeds scarlet and gray like we do.
That's right.
That last game against Northwestern does worry me. And Justin Fields, not even being asked about it, but kind of bringing up in his analysis of how he played, possible sprained thumb on his throwing hand, that worries you too. Is Justin Fields the Justin Fields that we know he can be?
Sure.
Or is he limited? You get playmakers back, you get offensive linemen back. You're Ohio State. You're the Ohio State University. You always have a chance, but you're 0-4 against Clemson in your history. It's time to get that monkey off your back. It's time to go beat them. Everybody talking about, should you have gotten in or not? You only played 6 games. 2020, it is what it is. You're there. You're given an opportunity. Don't waste it.
That's right.
Just like for the Browns next week. You're given an opportunity to play for something bigger than yourself as a team. Don't waste opportunities. Capitalize on opportunities. Something you and I talked about on our high school football coverage all season long. The teams that are able to capitalize on those opportunities, no matter what the score was, those little things, those little moments went a long way to determining how the game finished. You have an opportunity. You'll have little opportunities that present themselves to you during the game. Don't waste them. Take advantage and capitalize on those opportunities. O-H-I-O.
There we go.
Let's go Bucks.
That's right.
Let's go beat those Tigers. And ever since Dabo had that speech after one of those games where he said, we'll bring the heart, we'll bring guts or whatever, I was like,
we got stipends.
yeah, I was a fan of Dabo up to that point, and then I don't know, whoever he turned into after, and the TikTok, I don't know if you saw him doing that.
That's been out forever.
I know.
It caught a lot of traction lately
this week, but
Dabo's a douchebag.
Yeah.
I'll come out and say it. I'll come right out and say it. I don't like Dabo. Period.
He turned
at all.
He turned into that guy that you always want on your team to the guy that you always hate to,
I look at there's some coaches out there. So there's different coaches, different levels. We got to wrap up, but like Jim Harbaugh, I view as a joke. Okay, just sorry, you're a joke. Nick Saban, I view as honestly a college god.
Revered
as hell. One of the best recruiters, one of the best, defensive minds out there. The dude is special, and he knows how to get players to come to him and do everything like that. Dabo, I view as, I think he's a good coach, but I think he's a better motivator than he is a coach. Okay.
Right.
Whenever the chips are stacked against him, he can get those guys to go out there and do things that typically they're not really capable of doing. Now, mind you, he has a great team, you know, and he's built that from that Clemson program from the ground up. But I view him I truly do believe that once Nick Saban retires from Bama, which is probably going to be sooner than later, the guy's almost 70 or close to it. Whenever he retires, I think Dabo's going to go there. Yeah. It's where he played wide receiver or quarterback down there,
something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's going to be hopping from Clemson to Bama, and they're just going to keep on trying to roll that way. So
well, all that matters is Ryan Day has an opportunity to change the history of Ohio State versus Clemson. He's shown that he's a guy that can recruit. He can win during the regular season.
Yes.
Ohio State is meant to challenge and compete for national championships. If Ryan Day is the guy for Ohio State to do that, prove it coming up on Friday on New Year's Day, 8 o'clock or 8:20, whenever that game starts in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans.
I'm gonna be there so long because I have ESPN then, and then we're doing a Saturday morning show.
Okay.
It won't be Buckeye game day. It'll just be the Saturday morning show there for us. And that starts at 9 a.m. So that game is going to go till probably 2. The post game, everything is probably going to go to 2 to 3 a.m. And then I have the show at 9 a.m. So I might just sleep over.
Pack a pillow, pack a blanket,
honestly,
I just get your tent or sleeping bag.
Bring a toothbrush.
Right there in that lobby,
Oh yeah.
Take advantage of those last few days in,
It'll be
in
a
the
good
Galleria,
time. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Before we move to the flats.
Yeah.
So,
but that is going to wrap it up for this edition. Do you guys feel better after at least being able to
venting a little bit?
Venting a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you I need to get some venom off my chest basically.
Yes.
And I think I got that out there without cursing, which is very surprising. I
almost
honestly,
got me cursing
We're
too.
very proud of you.
Yes.
Thanks, appreciate it, guys.
You couldn't do that in the pre-show though?
No, couldn't dropping F-bombs everywhere.
If you guys only
Sorry,
knew,
Jacob.
those that are into that kind of content, if you only knew what the pre-show meetings look like here at the studio when we come on. Good times for sure. Feel a little bit better. Like we said, get on the Destiny bandwagon. Get all your frustration out however you need to. We did it here. Hopefully it helps some of you out there listening or watching tonight, or if you're listening to the show as just a audio on a podcast on Google, Spotify, Apple. Hopefully it helps you transition to Steelers week. Win, and you're in, and the Browns can make the playoffs. Let's go Buckeyes. Let's go Browns. OHIO forever. Football in the state of Ohio forever. For Nick Paulus and our producer extraordinaire, Peter Tellup, I am Kevin Arnold reminding all of you sports fans out there, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. An early Happy New Year to all of you. A blessed and happy and safe New Year to all of you out there. And to everyone listening, everyone fighting COVID-19 or anything else that you're going through, and enjoying us for just a brief moment in your day. We truly love you all. 3,000. We will see you all next Sunday night.